The last time I had experience with this Elantra was at the Hyundai press event where they launched this in glorious fashion. They put you up in a hotel, on the beach, pay for your food, give you the best driving route. Well, let's see if being removed from that perfect scenario has tainted my vision of this vehicle at all. The exterior of the new Elantra. And obviously, much like any car, you add a flashy paint color and it just gives it so much character, regardless of what model it is. And that's no different here. Now, however, there are two schools of thought about the new Elantra, much like the new Sonata. One side says, well, they stripped all the character out of this new model by just eliminating and erasing some of the body lines. Well, the other side says, well, those body lines made it look cheap, not as refined. The front of the new Elantra looks smooth overall. You have LED running lights that are integrated into the bumper this time around. You have projector-style headlamps with this model getting HIDs, and the light output is so much better at night compared to the previous generation. It's a big pro. And they've focused on aerodynamic purpose in terms of reducing drag for fuel efficiency. This isn't for performance. Again, it's for reducing drag. So there are vents. So as the air hits the front of this grille, there are air inlets on each side of the bumper that move it through the wheel wells and move the air outside and around the side of the car. And that's actually pretty clever for a car like this and its price range. The rear end of this Elantra is one of my more favorite parts of it because I think out of any part of the car, this looks the least conservative. Well, now, of course, it's not edgy and it's not just kind of trying too hard like the new Civic is. It gives you this element of sport without trying to just put you to sleep. The trunk will open. If you get near it and you have that option turned on, it will open in 3 or 4 seconds if you just stand by it. But overall, this is a pretty decent trunk space. There's plenty of room for most everything. Now the hinges aren't hidden, they do protrude into the trunk, but that's to be expected in this price range. But I've had virtually no issues fitting any of my gear in here. The width is good and the depth is good, specifically when you put down the seats. Hey Scott, Theodore here. Yeah, I just got done talking about the new Elantra exterior for about 16 hours. You mind if I come by, we take a look at the underneath? Oh, you don't want to? Well, doesn't matter, I'm coming over anyway. We're under this, and I've seen a lot of this before, not actually from this angle, because Hyundai flew me down to San Diego, California for the launch.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I know way more than I need to know about this car in general, but let's talk about it anyway, since this is a proper review video. You drove it, what did you think right off the bat, first impressions?
Can't get over that.
What?
This powerful acceleration. It's like, it's hurting my neck. It's not a bad car for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing special, but compared to this Cruze we got waiting.
Yeah, you're driving Tom Cruze, which we're going to show you in a little bit here. So the biggest thing with Hyundai, and from going out to San Diego and obviously dealing with them for quite a while, is this is an absolute 100% improvement over the last generation Elantra. And part of it is because they actually listen to actual owners of the car, the previous generation owners, not just focus group crap or making it up in their heads. They actually go through the effort of connecting with real owners to help do their product planning. All the improvements are directly from that. This suspension, the frame, the rigidity, the structural adhesives, everything here was combined to reduce drag, to improve aerodynamics, improve rigidity, and to improve the ride quality front to back. And it's super quiet because of a lot of these changes. servicing the Elantra is your dream.
Oh, wow, look, they made holes in the proper spots to get to the two things you do most.
Yes, and you don't have to take off a service panel to get to it, or even a little flap here. So it looks like somebody thought about this and said, you know what, really, what is a little flap gonna do?
I agree.
Suspension, the usual, what we see is strut-based front suspension, no aluminum, all stamped steel. Your subframe is all stamped steel. There's no use of aluminum here, except in, obviously, some of the engine mounts and the engine, transmission case, all that. But at this price point, you're not getting any of that. Let's take a look at the back of the car, Scott. Oh, God.
Oh, man, this is a really sporty rear suspension.
It doesn't look sporty at all. But this is actually one of the biggest things to talk about with this car. You said it just right before we started filming. A lot of people still have this stigma that Hyundai and Kia are absolute garbage. And you take a look at where they were, where that perception got started, and then you take a look at where they are now. I would have this over a huge majority of the big companies that are out there. The rear end is a torsion beam rear end, and this is not a carryover from the previous gen Elantra. They've improved every aspect of this rear suspension back here in overall damping, ride quality, bushings, structural rigidity, and the big payoff is ride quality and handling. Now here's the sticking point. They've designed a full multi-link suspension in the rear for this car. It's completely done now, and you only can get it on the Sport model, which is not out yet. So to me, this made no sense. And when I looked at it in San Diego, I said, why would you waste the time designing two complete different suspensions for the same car? And they didn't have an answer from him. So I emailed.
It seems like a waste of money.
It does. I don't just put the multi-link on here. Be class leading. Well, not class leading because Mazda's got a multi-link and of course Honda. But I emailed them and I asked them specific questions, which I never really got specific answers to. I said, why do you have two separate suspensions? Their answer was, well, our market research showed that it wasn't particularly necessary, that the drivers of the base car don't care. But those who want a sportier handling car will get the multi-link rear in the Sport model, which is not out yet. My guess was they didn't have it all sorted out and designed yet when this car was released, and they didn't include it. Chances are you will see a multi-link in the rear of this car, and all of them eventually, or at least I would hope.
I do like that they put some aerodynamic treatment on that beam.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so you have these side aero panels, right? So you got to have a way to run them off the back, which continues to the rear. Well, actually, it's not a rear.
Only on the one side.
You only got it on one side. But all these little things, as we talked about, you can't just address one thing. You have to do all these little things that add up to more of a lot. One single component isn't the whole story. Scott, you're a connoisseur of fine tires.
Yeah, which I was very shocked to see Nexans on here.
Yeah, but what type of Nexans we got?
Enpriz.
Oh, the Enpriz?
Enpriz.
Yeah. Well,
R.
Oh, they're
that's
R?
not an R, never mind.
Oh.
They were R compounds.
You want to know what's good about these tires? They're dirt cheap.
Oh, yeah. I thought they were some made in China junk.
No, these are straight Korean.
I didn't know that. Never
You didn't?
paid much attention, no.
Well, it's hard to get excited about the tires, but since they are the Enpriz, it is a little bit more exciting. You can get these tires used for like $5 a piece. I mean, they are cheap, and it's one of the nice parts about getting a car like this. This is very serious about it. Really, people don't get this serious about a car like this. But when you buy this, you don't want to have to deal with shit. You don't want to be paying a lot for consumables, maintenance.
$1,000 set of tires.
Right. Scott, under the hood. It just keeps getting better and better with this car, doesn't it?
2 liters of pure power.
It was up from the 1.8 liter in the last generation Elantra. And one of the reasons why they went to the 2 liter is obviously more torque. But it's just a smoother operating motor overall. And part of the smoothness of this motor is because of all the vibration dampers, the NVH work that they did on this, and it's one of the first 4-cylinders I've been in recently where you come to a stoplight and it feels like it's got stop-start.
It was very smooth for my 2-minute drive.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for you to drive it back-to-back with the Tom Cruze as well. Now, that's not the biggest story here, as we just discovered, because apparently I had my head in my ass. But there's something magical about this car. Other than it being amazingly simple to work on, you can get to the back, the front, your coil packs, the sides. This has got to be one of the most simple modern cars.
Lately, yeah.
And the best part?
No direct injection.
Yes. Port injection only on a modern car that gets 37 to 40 miles per gallon. No CVT.
Well, that's not with you driving it.
I got 37.
Wow.
My whole drive, and I put a shitload of miles on this car for a loaner. Wow. Typically, I don't put this many miles on this early on, but
we had to go get some king crab.
I had to get king crab legs. I had to get a new mannequin because I kind of made the holes too big in it the first time around. So I've done everything in this car, and I'm really impressed with the overall fuel economy. This is actually one of my top picks for a compact car for somebody who just wants no bullshit.
I agree.
First thing you're going to notice just driving this car around is its ride quality is extremely compliant. This is more of an under-dampened suspension, which means it handles all the bumps, all the undulations. It just handles bad pavement extremely well. This is a smooth riding vehicle. Hey, watch it. One of the biggest ways to sum up this new Elantra is pretty simple for me. I have 2 coworkers that are both previous generation Elantra owners, and we kind of all owned Hyundais at the same time, and they had bought theirs pretty much last model year to save some money. I had them both drive this, male and female, 40s and 50s. They both got in here and they said the same exact thing. This car is a complete turnaround. It's solid. It feels stable. There is virtually no road noise, no tire noise. The stability, the overall quality, it's like an entry-level luxury car in overall refinement. And that's really the biggest part of this new model year or this new generation Elantra. From where they were before to where they are now, it's unbelievable. So let's take this car through the turns and see if, that ride quality translates into sporty handling. No. It's actually, this car is so softly dampened that it's not about performance driving at all, and that's one of the downfalls about it. So now I'm going to switch over to manual mode and sport mode and see if there's any difference. In sport mode, I'll quote Turbowski, it feels like you're driving around with a flat tire. Sport mode synthetically increases the steering effort so much, it's like a joke. I think this was designed for people that have no idea what good steering feel feels like, and that's why I always leave it in normal mode. It's almost pointless to do. Whatever it does with the throttle mapping to make it feel more sporty as well, it's really just, again, pointless. If you leave this in normal mode, it's going to feel the most natural and normal overall. Now, if you're somebody who wants all the safety, wants to load this car up with the radar cruise control, with the lane keep assist, it works just like it does in a $60,000 Hyundai Genesis G80. It's everything from the higher end cars in this affordable compact package. So if you want all that, it's a really good system. I have almost no problems or no bugs with it, assuming you have lines on the road, of course. This automatic transmission is not the fastest to respond. It's weird in how it behaves in downshifts. It doesn't rev match downshifts in manual mode, and it's just best operated when it's fully automatic. There's no paddle shifters here either. So that's the biggest thing about this Elantra. I think they tuned this all around comfort, all the way through. And if you want a sportier Elantra, you have to wait for the Elantra Sport with the turbo and the manual transmission, and of course the multi-link rear. You don't really notice any of the negatives about this car in just daily driving until you start driving it hard. And that's where, you're understeering around, you don't have a lot of grip, you don't have a lot of steering feel, and that's really the negative part about this car. They stripped all the sport out of it. Brakes are instantaneous, but everything else is just kind of lackadaisical. Acceleration, transmission behavior, body control, and that's only when you're driving it at about 8/10. Everything else is good about it. So if you're somebody that's wondering, well, what car should I buy? If you're somebody that wants sport, this is not the car. This is all about comfort and daily driving. If you want a more loud driving experience, a little bit more road noise driving feel, and just viscerality, if that's even a word, you go for the Mazda 3 here. That still combines, some of the efficiency, the sportiness, without just turning it into a total cruiser. And that's what this Elantra is. And that's not a negative part, especially if you're somebody that wants that, because it does it so well. The last thing to note is something to do with this torsion beam rear end. They've changed it for this generation Elantra, and I still don't understand why they just don't have a multi-link in here to begin with, but whatever. You'll wonder, how does it feel? Does it feel springy? And I think they've fixed a lot of the bounciness that the previous generation had over bad pavement. But the only time you notice just this kind of bounciness in the suspension is when this car gets up to higher speeds on concrete surfaces where there's a lot of expansion joints, where that car starts to rebound and compress just at a faster rate. And because this car feels a little bit underdampened to me, you feel the bounciness more of the suspension, but that's only at higher speeds. Driving around normally under 65, you barely even notice it. When you get into the new generation Elantra for the first time, namely when it is fully loaded, you'll think this is an extremely comfortable, roomy, and high quality feeling interior, namely compared to the last generation. The previous generation owners I had in this vehicle, they both said the same thing. There's a level of refinement, quality, and just overall roominess to this cabin when you get in it, when you get out of it, and just when you have the doors closed. The best part about the Elantra cabin is its level of simplicity without being overly generic. There's a good feel of modernism in here as well. Now, if you get into plenty of compacts in this segment, you'll realize either the manufacturers just totally cost cut and could give a shit less about the interiors, or they were trying to make it too gimmicky, too youthful. This car does a great job at giving you a level of maturity and just solidity that most cars don't. The overall ergonomics of this car are top-notch. Everything has a solid mechanical feel to it, from your turn signals to your wiper stocks to the clickiness of the buttons on the steering wheel and the layout, right down to the mechanical shifter here. Even in the automatic, you can tell they took some time to tune the actual feeling of the shifter gate, which is such a small detail, but you'll notice it when you get in here. The HVAC controls, stupid simple, mechanical, no gimmicks. Your actual infotainment physical controls on here just have a level of quality. The knobs and the switches, all of that works extremely well. The negative part is the plastics. There's not enough variation in texture for my liking. If you get an all black interior, it just looks bland as hell. And they don't pad the center area here where your knee is constantly resting. Your armrest material is not padded enough for my liking. I think these are little areas they could easily improve on over the generation of this car. But for the most part, you're gonna be extremely satisfied on this interior. The reality of press cars and journalists doing reviews is they don't get a lot of seat time in cars. You don't get a lot of miles on them over the course of a week. In the case of this Elantra, this is one of the few cars I've done well over 1,000 miles in. My trip in California, drove 4 or 5 hours in it. In the case of this week, I've driven about 600 miles, including a 2-3 hour trip straight. And I've had so little fatigue from these seats. Despite them not looking all that fancy, they don't have high bolsters, they don't have huge bolsters on the side. They are well designed for comfort and just traveling in long trips. I had very little fatigue, even in stop and go traffic. The leather is ventilated, there's little holes in them. Although they are not cooled, you don't feel like you're just getting cooked on them. And that's something to note if you're looking at a car in this class. Well, I have high praise for the front seats of the Elantra, but I had my buddy Jack and Karen back here for about 2 hours, and they said it feels like you're sitting on cardboard. There's no ergonomic cutouts for your ass or your back. They just feel so flat. And I didn't spend a lot of time back here, nor would I want to, but sitting in here just for a couple moments, you realize this is the weak link. These back seats do suck. I'm glad they put the energy in the front, but it would be nice if they kind of put the same design elements in the back. You do have cup holders. You actually have seat heaters, 2-mode seat heaters in the back, which is really nice. But overall, this is not a place I'd want to sit in for an extended period of time. And getting in and out because of this roofline, my head, this is how much my head contacts, and I'm just getting out normal, and I'm 5'9". If you're any taller than this, oh my God, it's gonna suck. Infotainment can be a sticking point for plenty of buyers, myself included. I've been in plenty of vehicles that the design was such a shit show, I wouldn't even pay a cent for it. It seems like they hired my neighbor's sloth to design the whole thing. In the case of the Hyundai head unit, I've spent enough time talking to their product planners and people on their side to kind of have an understanding and express my personal distaste for designing something that you cannot have any updates on over the course of 5 years. We don't expect that on our smartphones and computers. Why should we expect that in the car? And their straight answer was, they have no plans to do any updates to this over the course of ownership, so you're stuck with this. So the point is, this is one of my more favorite user interfaces and overall usable infotainments of any affordable car right now. They've combined an element of speed, decent looking graphical interface, a good screen quality, and physical controls to get around enough. Getting from between menus is pretty quick. The speed in which you can move there is good. You can black out the screen, totally turn it off at night, which I always like. And the best part is, if you choose for the upgraded audio system, which I would just get in this car, the Infinity sound system in here is really good for a car in this actual price range. It's one of the best. I've spent enough time now in the Elantra and compact cars to say this is one of the best in the market. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's efficient, it's well put together. And something that a lot of people don't talk about is its mechanical simplicity. You're not going to have to worry about a lot of the things on this vehicle over the course of your ownership experience. You can buy it outright and keep it for a long time. And that's really important when you're dealing with a vehicle like this. Now, this is not going to appeal to a driving enthusiast, however. They strip out too much of the driving fun in favor of just having just a comfortable, compliant driving experience and just overall quietness. That's where it's going to kill you. You have to go to something like a Mazda 3 to have a little bit more fun. But overall, they've done so many good things here that I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the Sport, if they're going to fix some of those problems and have a more complete package.